So this is real world deer plotting problems here. I got this food plot in way too early this year, about 4 weeks ahead of what I did last year, because last year it came up nice, but the deer had it pretty much depleted by late September. As you know, we shot some really nice deer out of here last year, but I wanted to have more forage in there for this year. Well, my problem is it came in nicely, but the deer have just been hammering it. One of the key components of this food plot in particular has been buckwheat. I've never planted it before. It came in nicely and the deer have been just mowing it off. But one thing that I've learned in researching that forage is that once that gets browsed off, that's it. It's just like brassicas. Once that gets browsed off, it's not growing back. So one of the things I wanted to add here, I talked to my buddy Steve Bartilla. He's an expert on this kind of stuff. He said, get yourself some cereal rye if you can, and some oats if you can, and just broadcast it in there. You know, ideally on oats you would plant it a ½ inch deep. I don't have that equipment to do it, so I'm using twice the amount of prescribed seed here. I'm putting in like 50 pounds worth of seed. This is Antler King's Lights Out. It's not only oats, but it's got other things in there as well, radishes, and it's going to add some more tonnage to this plot to keep the deer there, not only through September, which is our opener is September 12th. It'll keep them there through the month of September, October, and all the way into the November gun season, which is what I want. I want those deer to be there, so we're going to have hunting opportunities in this otherwise fallow existence. So let's get to work, and I'm going to show you a couple other things that I ran across in analyzing this food plot just yesterday. So this is what I also wanted to show you. You know, look at this food plot. It's looking pretty meager. Now, if you look down real close, that buckwheat that's coming up is just browsed off. I'm looking at stem after stem after stem. Browse, 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 browse. It's really good, and deer love this. But the thing about buckwheat, if you look at that forage, it's just like a brassica. When a deer nips that off, that's the end of the plant. It's not going to grow back. Now, there's more foliage there for them to eat, but once those leaves are gone, that's the end of that plant, no different than a brassica leaf. And the most interesting thing that I found is that where I had my camera, is I had a camera right on the edge of this field, and there is a little strip of mature buckwheat there that's probably 2 yards wide by 15 yards long. The deer would not touch that spot, and I think it's because they were avoiding that camera. We know that mature bucks avoid cameras. It's not saying that they're not in this plot, but they didn't want to walk right in front of that camera. So one of the tricks I'm going to try here is I pulled that fence post. I'm going to put it at the end of the food plot because my blind is over here that I cannot shoot if the bucks come out of this woods, and that is a bedding area right there. So I'm going to condition them, hopefully, to stay away from the end of that plot for when bow season gets here a month from now. Hopefully they're going to be right here, and that's easy bow range. So the take-home message here is monitor those food plots. You did all the work to get them in the ground. You don't want it to go to waste by having the deer mowed off before you even get to hunt it. Monitor those food plots and be ready when bow season starts. Today we're looking at HuntStand. This is a new app that takes scouting to a whole new level. Now, with these types of apps, HuntStand has everything you would expect. Property boundaries. You can go in there, look at a property, see who are the neighboring landowners, map out properties, check out sizes of properties, acreage, everything you could possibly want. Also, offline mapping. So basically, if you're not online, you could save those maps that you have and look at them wherever you are, whether you're hunting or you're at home or you're on the road. Very nice, especially if you don't have access to Wi-Fi. But the real beauty of HuntStand is its 3D imaging. This thing is really neat because when you get out there and scout a property, it's not always what it looks like on a map. In the old days, we'd look at topo maps and you think everything is pretty much flat. This you can zoom through 3D. You're gonna see ditches, you're gonna see ravines, you're gonna see hills, and it's gonna take the property lines right through that overhead view to give you a really precise view of the property that you're scouting. Check it out at huntstand.com.